in what's being compared to as the largest operation against Cosa Nostra since the revelations of Tommaso Buscetta, when 366 arrest warrants were issued in 1984. Yesterday, a pre-dawn anti-mafia blitz involving over 1,200 carabinieri in Palermo and other cities in Sicily resulted in the arrest of almost 200 people, most of whom were closely related, including several bosses, and 36 people were already in custody. The charges include mafia association, attempted murder, extortion committed or attempted or aggravated by mafia methods, drug trafficking, aiding and abetting, crimes involving weapons against property and people, illegal gambling, among other charges. Italy's Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, posted on her X account a portion of a wiretap recording which captured a member complaining, "Italy has become uncomfortable for us. I have to leave because I absolutely do not intend to lose what I've created up to now. Start getting your passports." Meloni stated the mafia must be defeated with determination and without any compromise. The 2-year investigation revealed that through encrypted cell phone use, the mafia regained its grip. By using modern technology, such as encrypted phones, items easily smuggled into prison, it allowed incarcerated bosses to continue to exercise authority. In fact, there was even video call mafia summits that took place where bosses created chat groups with members that were both free and in prison. Mafia boss Collegio Lopresti even ordered a beating via his encrypted cell phone and watched it take place on a video call. One interesting discovery was that a large number of younger men still embraced the mafia's principles. In one documented case, an associate received what's described as mafia lessons from an older member. The younger man received specific instructions to model his behavior toward the people he was extorting and was given advice on how to deal with mafia bosses. In addition, he was made to understand that one can only leave Cosa Nostra by death, as well as how a person is in charge of a district, an acting boss, until someone superior to him is released from prison. The recorded tape also picked up more of the conversation. "Come here and I will teach you. I will start teaching you something. You listen to me speaking. You must be shrewd. Always let him speak. The latest version is his. Open your eyes. You know how to do it. If you sow, you will reap. Now come with me and I will show you how it's done." The investigation also shed light on how mediation takes place. When a member suffered an injustice from a person in a different family, in order to get intervention, he needed to go see the head of the local family, who would bring the matter through the city of Palermo in order to handle the matter, which could only mean one thing. Palermo is the nucleus of the Sicilian Mafia. Another interesting fact is that no murders were detailed in the arrest warrants. However, numerous weapons were seized, and there were incidents of brutal beatings. For example, one member, after finding out his son's quad had been stolen, instructed one of the defendants to find those responsible and beat them, which resulted in someone receiving a serious eye injury. Surprisingly, one boss kept a ledger which contained financial activities regarding extortion, as well as the incomes made from extortion and what money was spent. The most profitable criminal activities for the Sicilian Mafia proved to be drug trafficking, where relations with the 'Ndrangheta were revealed, specifically the clans from Gioia Tauro, who were able to supply large quantities of drugs. The fact that the Sicilian Mafia is collaborating with the 'Ndrangheta says a lot as for how far the Calabrian Mafia has evolved. On this very subject, the National Anti-Mafia Prosecutor, Giovanni Melillo, had the following to say. The Mafia is trying to recover by re-establishing important relationships with some entities, such as the 'Ndrangheta, for example. Investigations into cocaine trafficking reveal deep connections with entities that manage international routes. The relationship with the 'Ndrangheta is increasingly close, and this triggers transformations in the traditional models of Cosa Nostra, which is when it enters large markets and must conform, integrating into almost mixed structures in which the 'Ndrangheta and the Camorra converge. It came as a surprise that besides cocaine and marijuana, the Sicilians will also supply crack. Supposedly, the drug is increasingly widespread among young people in Palermo, which if you give it some thought, the Mafia is profiting while they knowingly help destroy young lives. Another big moneymaker is online gambling, with large profits that the investigation uncovered are used to help support the families of incarcerated members. Anyone looking to operate a personal gambling site signs a cooperation agreement with mafia bosses, and in return, they could make use of mafia intimidation. As far as extortion, among the numerous cases found, one in particular describes an owner of a commercial establishment located in the territory of a mafia family. The owner showed a lack of respect at the extortion demand. This lack of respect had one member resorting to the use of violence. The investigation also revealed, in February 2024, how a family took control of the distribution of fish delivered to restaurants in seaside villages. Overall, approximately 50 extortion incidents, attempted and successful, have been identified, and only in a very few cases did the victims report the crime or make any complaints, which shows a fear of retaliation from the mafia. On September 5, 2024, an incident took place over a disagreement involving drug dealing. One member fired several gunshots at his opponent, who luckily was not hit. The disagreement was resolved when the mafia intervened for the purpose of reestablishing order and not to hinder further business. The Sicilian mafia also had a cadre of moles at their disposal. For instance, a clerk from the prosecutor's office, Feliciano Lito, was photographing confidential documents and sending them to mafia members, as well as providing information about wiretaps, which resulted in monitored phones going silent and compromising ongoing investigations. The latest arrests detail a great deal about the present-day Sicilian mafia. First among them is, like the American mafia, they seem to be avoiding committing murders. There were several indications where bosses wanted to keep a low profile and stay under law enforcement's radar. This week's arrest, to put it into further perspective, is the equivalent of arresting one of New York's smaller crime families in its entirety. The Sicilian mafia seems to put a lot of faith into encrypted phones. Having a summit or a large-scale meeting where every word spoken is naturally incriminating is taking large risks. As sophisticated as some technology can be, there are always ways around that, especially when it comes to law enforcement investigating crimes. As far as older members passing Cosa Nostra wisdom down or schooling a younger guy, this is common practice. In the recorded words, "Always let him speak, the latest version is his," refers to teaching the younger guy how to deal with the boss, and basically can be interpreted as be quiet and listen when in a boss's company. The investigation also revealed a key fact, and that's how relevant Palermo is. When grievances or beefs are made, Palermo has the final say. The joint venture between the Sicilians and the 'Ndrangheta is not surprising at all. There's no question that the 'Ndrangheta dominates the drug trade, so it's only beneficial that the Sicilians link up with them. With online gambling, they're basically allowing free agents to conduct business, but taxing them at the same time. Which brings us to extortion. It's fair to say the Sicilian mafia essentially charges everyone a street tax, which is why in a 2-year period, law enforcement discovered 50 extortion incidents, and I'm sure there's much more. If you haven't liked this video yet, please do, as it helps with YouTube's algorithm. Also, if anyone would like to show their appreciation for videos like this, or to help me continue making them, you can do so by donating with the Super Thanks icon down below, or through the PayPal Cash App links in the video's description. The reality of these arrests is the mafia, whether in Italy or the United States, is always regrouping and reorganizing. However, as it goes through this process, it can't avoid but to become less and less of what it once was.